the fact that Israel is not a democracy, like you can explain this in about two sentences.
Yeah.
It is not like, and then that was like the biggest surprise. Like, I guess when people said it was complex and people make like this is morally complex or whatever, like that's what I thought. I thought I was gonna go over and see some, really morally complex, but I didn't. I mean, it was so obviously immoral. It is blatantly immoral, like blatantly, and I think the argument that it's not is extremely hard to make. And the shadow of that to me is that when you make it, people don't say this is not happening. They say, yes, but what did they do to deserve it? That is effectively the counter argument.
Yes, that Israel had no choice.
Right. Israel had no choice but to perpetrate apartheid.
You seem particularly interested in what Black Americans should learn from this, from the way that the dominant political story that Jews ended up taking collectively from the Holocaust was, we need our own state, a state based on supremacy. And I was been thinking, what exactly does that mean? Like, what is the danger that Ta-Nehisi is thinking about?
It is immensely troubling. And I wanted to sit in this tension and in this trouble to accept that a group of people can suffer from existential collective punishment, that can suffer from industrialized genocide, which itself is the climax of centuries of oppression, of pogroms, ethnic cleansing, mass murder, other genocidal violence, and say that that legacy is now attached to a state that is pursuing similar violence against another group of people. Like, that's not just dark because the state is Jewish. I contend it is actually dark because it forces us to face some things about ourselves, and maybe even some of the underlying, linchpins and pillars of progressivism and the left. Like this idea that somehow like the oppressed are ennobled, or oppression is ennobling, that there can be this broad alliance of oppressed people. Like there's something dark here that is beyond Israel itself, that I think is really, really hard to face.